book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and verse 10. Let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. The book of Job, chapter 24, and 5. Behold, as wild asses in the desert, go they forth to their work, rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yieldeth food for them and for their children. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Havashai, Bahara Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. And scattered abroad amongst the heathen, some looking like the heathen, beginning with 144,000. Preach attention to the prophet Shalom. Esau out here wilding, man. Esau is the wicked, man. Here it is, 2 hours ago, the Guardian, U.S. Agriculture Secretary says Medicaid recipients can replace deported farm workers. Now, it says 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program as potential workers. So those on Medicaid, you know, hey, they saying, hey, y'all go out there and pick them down strawberry. Hey, that's why y'all about Shemach had me reading the scriptures in Wisdom of Solomon 2 and Job 24, man. They're not going to do it. Hey, I'm going to play this video, and she's going to tell you. Ultimately, the answer is automation, right? The answer is automation. Now, automation is little to no assistance of the humans and machines doing everything. Automation, AI overview, refers to the use of technology often involving machines or computer systems to perform tasks with minimal or no human intervention. So you see the Isaiah 19 most definitely playing out. So them snatching up the immigrants, you see what it's causing. They're saying 34 million able-bodied Americans, adults, that's on Medicaid can go out there and pick them strawberries. All right? And work in the fields. All right? And you know, they put stipulations on the Medicaid, man. All right? Hey, if you want to keep it, you got to do some work. But you know, these people aren't going to do it. So what's going to happen? Or what's being set up and put in place? Famine, everything collapsing. But what these people are going to do, those who survive, right? 2/3 of our people and these Americans are going to bow the knee because they're going to be hungry. But they don't want to work for it. They want it the easy way, right? Hey, people tired of working for nothing as well. So what they're going to, Esau is, it's all a part of the plan. All right? It's all a part of the plan. They want to feed their kids and do this, that, and the third. They don't want to work for it. So they say, hey, Esau going to come through with the other solution to the problem, which is this right here, the Revelation 13:16. All right? So everything is set up in place for this right here. Everything is playing out, man. Smoothly, right? Smoothly, according to prophecy, man. Yahweh Shema Shah is most definitely working, man. All right? And using Esau to bring, to do it. Esau was playing his role, the so-called white man, the elites, Trump, everybody's playing their role in prophecy. Revelation 13:16, he calls it all, both small, great, rich, poor, free, and bond to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Who is wisdom to him that has understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man's number, 606. And that's that scanning system, man. All right? And you only be able to be scanned if you got this mark of the beast, man, which is the RFID chip. That's going to be either hand on your forehead. Now, I just want to, play this video because I just put it up. But I said, no, you how about Shema Shah? You how about Shema Shah put on my spirit? I said, no, speak on it. So I deleted it, and here it is, man. All right.
Hi, we're Create.
Sorry
Create's
about
line
that.
of creatine gummies and single-serve powder sticks support strength, recovery.
Answer on this is automation.
I'm gonna play the whole video. So you see where everything leading to, man.
So all of the above.
Give the farmers the people they need, but we're not talking amnesty.
That was President Trump talking to his cabinet at the White House about not granting amnesty to undocumented immigrant farm workers. The farm sector had warned that mass deportation of farm workers would disrupt the US food supply. The Trump administration in June signalled that it might pause raids on some farm work sites, but it later reversed course.
Meanwhile, Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins suggested that able-bodied adults on Medicaid can replace deported farm workers. Let's watch.
The promise to America to ensure that we have a 100% American workforce stands, but we must be strategic in how we are implementing the mass deportation so as not to compromise our food supply. Ultimately, the answer on this is automation, also some reform within the current governing structure, and then also when you think about there are 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. There are plenty of workers in America, but
Trump's tax cut and spending bill, passed on July 3rd, introduced work requirements for Medicaid. This rule might ultimately end coverage for millions of enrollees who do not meet the new employment or reporting standards. Rollins also emphasised the need to prevent foreign countries from owning farms within the United States. Let's listen to that.
the red states are the ones that are banning the Chinese-owned farmland, and this is true. But I have to believe that even the Democrat governors and even the blue states realize what a massive threat this is to national security and how important it is. So we plan to work with everyone, no matter which party, no matter which side of the aisle they're from, to ensure that the people of this country and our agriculture farmland is protected.
Foreign ownership of farmland, by the way, is something the President and the Secretary of the Interior get to have oversight over anyway. So even if in states where it is not formally banned, the federal government can veto it if an attempted land deal is done. So that's kind of that's a handled issue, I would say.
Sure.
I support the work requirements for Medicaid people. I do not, and if the job they take on is farm worker, that's fine. Unlike our Rising Fridays host Amber and I were arguing about this on the show that we do, Free Media, yesterday. She wants to deport absolutely everyone who is in the country illegally, no matter how law-abiding otherwise they are. That is not me. I would not meddle with the farm labor sector because I want to keep food prices low. That is the number one demand of voters, is to keep down the price of things. And if you massively interfere with this sector, you will raise prices. I think that would be bad. I think Trump knows that, and his instincts on this are pretty good, and he wants to not do a mass deportation of farm workers. He wants to deport violent criminals, gang-affiliated people, terrorists. That's what he wants to do. Now, but he faces pressure internally from some in MAGA, like Stephen Miller, who wants to deport literally everyone, to go further, and he doesn't want to do that, but he knows a lot of his base does, so he's not going to call it amnesty, but I predict he is going to do something along those lines of leaving them in place and not deporting them, which is what I think will be best for everyone. Better for them, better for us, because we pay less in food prices.
So let me begin with what Brooke Rollins said, which I regard as ludicrous, frankly. The idea that you're going to deport farm workers and get people on Medicaid to then just slide into the farm workers' jobs in some neat, tidy, that's all done and dusted way, I think is absurd. For a start, I think she's capitalizing on a misconception on the right that people on Medicaid are scroungers or malingerers. For a start, the vast majority of able-bodied people on Medicaid work as it is. It is a program that, by and large, serves people who work low-wage jobs. Now, then they have imposed these working requirements for people aged from 19 to 64. Now, obviously, employment, particularly low-wage employment, which tends to be more manual, gets more difficult, generally speaking, as one gets older. The idea that some 55 or 60-year-old person who is suffering from a chronic disease or diabetes, something that does not make them not able-bodied, but is a genuine medical problem, is going to go and start picking fruit in farms in the Deep South is just an absurd suggestion. And I think that it is, the problem is the whole idea of the work requirement is to kick people off Medicaid. The whole reason for that requirement is we can save money on Medicaid so we can give it to very rich people in the Trump tax breaks. So the thing is inequitable to begin with. And this kind of rhetoric is just, I think, glib and pays no attention to just one final point, Robbie. There will have to obviously be verification of these jobs. Georgia is the only state that has a work requirement for Medicaid so far. 90% of the money they've spent on the new program has been spent on administrative costs to determine who's telling the truth and who's not, or what the paperwork is like. So it's inefficient, it's inequitable. I don't like it, as you might have noticed.
You don't like it? Well, but you agree with me, I'm sure, on not deporting the farm laborers in the first place, however, so then we wouldn't even come to that.
It wouldn't even come to that, but it would if Brooke Rollins' wishes come true.
Well, next up, the FBI is reportedly investigating former FBI Director James Comey and former CIA Director John Brennan. That's some interesting news we will discuss
All around.
up next.